What's up, everybody? Today, you are lucky we have a quality guest. Not that we don't have a quality guest normally, but we have Hansolar here, someone who has been known to talk about the perp decks, even like build some tools around this, tons of good resources on how to properly farm them, and then I guess to find where to trade properly. So, Hansolar, first of all, why did you choose that profile picture?
Well, it's actually a dog from a show that I like. I don't know if you've seen a show called Midnight Gospel. Have you seen that before? No, it's a very trippy show. It's like a cartoon that sounds like a high person doing podcasts with random people. They made like an animation around the podcast. And so they go through like all these random stories about like awareness, like thankfulness. Like it's very philosophical. And then it's this very like cute dog in the show that's all powerful. That's how I ended up with my profile picture because I like the dog.
Okay. And you're a lighter intern as well. So you work with lighter. What do you do?
I'm actually a BD for Lighter, mostly
Uh-uh.
focusing on Asia and South Korea. But the Lighter intern thing came up as a bit of a joke, like early on. I was one of the most vocal like supporters, and there wasn't really anybody like doing anything public on Lighter at that time. And
Okay.
so I was just like, how about I be an intern? And the team was like, oh yeah, it's a good idea.
Okay. First, could you explain for people who are just joining now what is a perp dex and what is different from another exchange?
Yeah, so I mean, perp dexes are a place you can trade perpetual swaps, which are like futures contracts without maturities. So if you're from the TradFi world, you know what a futures contract is, and those have set expiries that usually end like in a week or a month. Perpetuals are contracts that are continuous, made famous by Arthur Hayes, BitMEX. And a DEX is just a place where it's a decentralized exchange. And so you have custody over the funds. You would have all the transactions be very transparent and verifiable, which may not mean a lot to people. But considering, that there isn't a lot of visibility sometimes into what actually goes on inside an exchange, the blockchain tech was built around being the most transparent way to show everybody the data. And so, the team at Lighter has built perps on a DEX to solve, I guess, some of those pain points.
Okay. Yeah, I see. Yeah, for me, I love those because it's just like, as you say, bring the clarity of what's happening on chain. So you have a better idea of like what is actually happening on the market because a lot of centralized exchange work as a black box. You have no idea what kind of manipulation can go on. It's been known that some exchanges will sell the information about point of liquidation of certain holders or certain traders, and then you just don't know. You just don't know when. Here, at least we can see when there's manipulation, but it still can happen. And then you don't sound Korean. Are
Oh
you
yeah,
Korean?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Oh, really? Wow. Okay, because I was like, okay, you work in. You say you try to develop the market around there, and man, I have to say, like, I'm tired of Koreans.
What? How can you be?
You can't say that with
Hey,
Korean.
wait. My girlfriend is Korean, but then every time I talk to someone in crypto, they say like some of their biggest market are around Asia and then Japan and Korea. And it's like, but it's a word that we don't see out there, like for us that don't speak Hangul. So it's
Yeah.
unfair.
I don't know. I mean, like all the Koreans want to speak better English.
How many? Isn't it like 2% of the GDP they spent on like learning English or something like that? It's something crazy.
It probably is something crazy like that. Everybody goes crazy over trying to teach their kids English.
That's crazy. And in Korea, you also have live trading competitions, right?
I mean, I'm sure a lot of places have done it before. I think like the first case where it went like super viral, the Perp Day event, where there were like four different live kind of traders trading on four different exchanges, Perp Dexes, and trying to make the most money in the 30 minutes. And it was just an experimental kind of event. but it was, I guess, very, very popular and got a lot of people's imagination kind of running wild.
And it is really funny to watch. I mean, it is really crazy, and I think like we might probably see more of that. I don't know if like that's going to be a thing, but it seems that's going to be on a growing same as gaming in a way.
I mean, personally, instead of watching short spurts of like who's the best trader in 30 minutes or who's the best trader in like an hour, I kind of wish it was 24/7. Maybe it has like rotating kind of traders, maybe someone to like comment on it around the day. A combination of crypto news and a sport, like entertainment and informative at the same time. I just like have that turned on like 24/7 because I'm a trader. So it would be good.
You making this interview easy. Let me know what you trade.
At the moment, actually, I faced a bit of a drawdown like last week. And so I'm taking it like a bit slower. And my trading style is I trade a basket of crypto usually. So I have both longs and
Okay.
shorts.
Okay.
And I short a lot of like fundamentally or maybe technically weak coins. I'm not sure if your audience would be happy to hear my list of coins that I'm short. Maybe they're holding.
Do it, man. We're here to farm engagement anyways. This is going to be clipped. It's going to be on social media and you get the hate, not me.
All right.
Okay.
So I mean, just going off my list, like I'm right now short Aptos, WorldCoin, Arbitrum, Aster, MYX, MYX, which is another DEX, which I think is like ridiculously overvalued at the moment. I'm shorting Zcash. I have Monad as a short, and the list goes on.
When did you start to short Zcash?
My short price for Zcash is 468.
So what you say you're having a drawdown?
Oh, but my drawdown came from the long side actually. So I was also long mainly Hyperliquid until like
Mm.
I think last weekend, like the weekend before this one. There was like a 16% drawdown on the day, and I was pretty like overly exposed hype on the wrong side, and so yeah, I faced a loss on that one.
Man. Are you married?
Yeah. I'm married as well.
Because it's like I'm like you're lighter intern and then you longing hype.
Oh, you're asking what project I'm married to?
Yeah, I'm like, whoa, what is this guy doing?
I think hype was like I always saw like hype as I love the story of how hype came about to be. I love the execution. I think they're a great project and team, and probably maybe the only investable asset in crypto from my perspective, because I like investing in DeFi and I like looking at fundamentals and things like that. And they're like the
Yeah.
only project that has an interesting value proposition in my view, something that like actually makes money and not just about tech. And so obviously, if I can invest in lighter, and trade it, I would. But the closest thing at the moment before the lighter TGE was hype. But
Yeah.
but now I'm kind of more cautious about it because of a couple of things. I think it's like a very consensus hold. Like way too many people are kind of like hoping hype regains not the throne because it's already like the most widely used DEX, but hopefully regains momentum. But I would be cautious, I think, just personally, because there's a couple of like perp dexes that are doing TGEs like into the end of December, namely Lighter and EdgeX. And they're not the size of Hyperliquid yet, but I still think, when capital is scarce, like it is right now, and like nobody has like the courage to bid, these things can like suck up liquidity. And that could have been liquidity that had gone to hype bids. And so yeah, I'm a bit more cautious on hype at the moment. So I closed
Mm.
all my longs.
Oh wow, you close all your longs. What price?
Probably like at the bottom tick. It wasn't a pretty close.
Do you think you're a good trader only when the market goes up?
Absolutely. I'm a genius when the market goes up. Yeah, it's something that, I think a lot of crypto traders like fall into the trap. I try to like kind of balance that out with my longs and shorts. I think that like definitely helps.
Yeah, like
Yes.
you short all those assets.
Yeah, I shorted Monad before TG.
That's a good idea. That's yeah. I think it was on Hyperliquid actually that you could short it. I don't. There was not so many places, right?
Yeah, I'm shorting on lighter.
Oh, okay. Nice, nice. And how do you define project that, in your opinion, do not have strong fundamentals?
I'd say like 99% of all crypto tokens probably don't have fundamentals. And so there's like a very small kind of, you can probably count them on your hand, which projects are worth buying. And I mean, like, it's, I don't think it's that complex. It's just like, do they have, real users and real revenue? So like probably 90% of coins you could probably ignore it when you ask the question whether they make any money. And then the rest of them you kind of have to consider, like, is the revenue number like reasonable? Is it mostly, is it actually fake or real? So is it incentivized by like their tokens, which again, like probably most of them are? What proportion of that revenue is incentivized by the token? And I mean, the $1,000,000 question for Lighter as well, I think a lot of people will have on their mind is, will the users and revenue be sticky after the TGE? And so those are generally the kind of things that I consider.
So why shorting Zcash, for example?
I don't really think Zcash has that much fundamentals, first of all. Like, I don't think it's like used by actual people. I think the people that actually use the privacy kind of coins are more likely to use Monero. And I think Zcash is something that was just like very, very cornered due to the Zcash that was front run. And so I think that was where most of the kind of, price appreciation came from. And so I don't think that there's enough buyers in the market to like sustain the price at the current levels. Have you used Zcash before?
No, I never used Zcash before.
I feel like if you go to like shady forums, like I feel like most of them will say I accept Monero, but I don't think they would say they accept Zcash.
But that could be just a temporal thing. But I mean, just the only time someone had to send me something with more privacy, they used Monero, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
But there's like a lot of privacy stuff. There's Raygun as well. There's a lot of privacy
Railgun? Yeah,
solutions.
yeah, Railgun. I think that one is also like better in terms of privacy.
I mean, that one we know that is used in some cases, right? Because I think there's the easy integration with Ethereum, and then you can send like stables and things like that on it, right?
Yeah.
But Tate uses it. That's
Oh yeah.
that's bullish, right? He was saying to shill it,
That,
and then I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the one he's talking about. Like I'm 80 or 90%, like because he was like saying like there's another project with ZK and everything. And then there was a hack recently where the guy used a Raygun actually to get the funds out. But Raygun has some protocol or like some safeguard that if it looks like it's from a dirty source of money or whatever, then it should block it. But it didn't block it. And then I mean, I guess they can't know before it happened, right?
Isn't that
Um,
counterintuitive to privacy in the first place?
yeah, but it depends of like I guess how you want to see the things. It's like because should we let all transaction happen or like should we can we put some safeguard?
I think it's
That
like there are white hackers and there are like dark hackers, right? There are like
yeah.
hackers for good and like, hackers that are malicious. I think like privacy coins like can also like kind of align along that spectrum. There are like nice privacy coins and there are kind of like gray or dark privacy coins. And obviously like if you want to be picked up by institutions and like more people, like you have to at least like look white, right? Or look nice. And so I guess like
Mhm.
Railgun, like guys like Aztec that are recently like doing their ICO, I think they're trying to align themselves to be more like privacy is like a fundamental right for humans. Like people deserve privacy. So like they try to have some guardrails on it. And then there's like the cyberpunk, no one should be able to see what I'm doing with any of the dodgy stuff that, that I want to do.
Yeah.
And that's like the more kind of like Monero side of things. I'm not sure like
Yeah.
which one will do better. I'm guessing like, the nicer side should theoretically do better if there's like a need for it in the market.
Do you have one actually that you think could be on the nicer side?
No, I'm not so much like I'm not privacy pilled yet. I can see how it's like useful in a perp dex actually though, because people get hunted for their positions all the time, and I had pretty like massive long positions on hype as well that could have gotten hunted on lighter. Like a layer of privacy would have maybe made me sleep better at night.
Yeah, and there's actually Zcash, ZK, because ZK is used in many places at least. And then we have like some StockX, like Edgex is built on it. They have a fork. Paradex as well is a fork of like I don't want to say wrong, but it's not Starknet, but like there are other blockchain that is more for users of that. So it's interesting to see that still the Zcash technology get used on all the, I mean, it's not Zcash technology, we say the ZK, which is zero knowledge proof, right? And then we see it implemented in more and more perp decks. We'll see
Yeah,
how it plays out.
so ZK can actually do two different things, and a lot of the times projects will implement only one aspect of it. So zero knowledge proofs, like one aspect of it is the privacy aspect that I think a lot of people know about, but the other aspect is actually it has to do with like scalability and like proving stuff like efficiently. And so most of like the perp dexes that use ZK tech, including Lighter also uses ZK tech in its custom L2. That's why it's like very, very fast. They're actually only using the proving side of things. So proving that everything is fairly done, and proving all the orders are matched fairly, like that kind of thing. That's like the ZK that you see implemented for exchanges like Lighter and Edgex and the others as well.
Got it. And I see you build quite a bit of tools for finding different opportunities. And I want you to understand more, like, were you farming a lot the perpdex airdrops?
I've been interested in like DeFi and perps ever since like 2020, like DeFi summer. So I've always been interested in the space, and I actually ended up working with a project called Avo, and that I was quite bullish on that project just because I thought crypto options, was going to be like the next big thing, and I was like very painfully wrong on that trade, and ended up also missing like Hyperliquid. I didn't like trade on it as much as I should have.
Man,
So
why you didn't
that was
subscribe to
very-
Handsome Finance?
I
This
should have
is
listened to you
crazy.
guys.
Yeah,
But
it's like I was making videos about it, no one listened. And
you got a good nose. But after, Hyperliquid, like, went to the moon or whatever, I was obviously like looking for a similar play, and that's how I found Lighter. And I also wanted to track like all the different perp dexes that were coming out. There were, some people were saying like there's 100 perp dexes out there. And so that's why I ended up building like a dashboard that tracks.
that's showing it on the screen here. So what do we see here? Bar open interest.
Yeah, so initially this was actually volumes, like a volume like chart, but due to zero fees, so Lighter has zero fees, as well as now Paradex also has zero fees. I think Variational also has zero fees now. And so since it's hard to compare an exchange that has zero fees and one that does, their volumes end up being very different. And so the
That's
best
true.
way to measure like how much trading activity actually occurs on the exchange is actually to look at OI. And so you'll see like Hyperliquid is still king in terms of open interest, and then you'll see a long list of other exchanges as well after that. Yeah, it was just for me to like, first of all, like Lighter wasn't on DeFi Llama for a really long time. Like
Okay.
it was only listed like maybe 1 or 2 months ago. And so during the very, very early days, Lighter was still doing like pretty impressive volume and OI. So I wanted to track like how it stacked up against the other exchanges. I also wanted to see if there were, overvalued or undervalued projects. And so that's why I built the dashboard. I was talking about my MYX short. That idea actually came from this dashboard as well. If you click into MYX Finance, like if you scroll down and like click into it, yeah, there's like a model that I made that explains the market cap of perp dexes. So perp dexes are like pretty commoditized in some sense. It's like the largest cash cow in crypto. So everybody knows that, perp dexes can make a lot of money, and everybody watches like the price action on them. So they're priced pretty fairly, is what I found. And the relationship I found that has the most explanatory power was open interest. So if you have like a large open interest, then you'd have like a large market cap. I think that's pretty safe to say. But that relationship is basically the same ratio for almost all perp dexes. Yeah. All perp dexes have like the same ratio of OI to market cap. So if your OI is bigger, your market cap is bigger. And if your OI is small, then your market cap is small. And sometimes people like fake it with volume. Obviously, that's like
Okay.
very easy to do, right?
Yeah.
It's much harder.
When you're the person collecting the fees.
Yeah, exactly. It's much harder to do it with volume. I also like modeled it out with volume, and I also tried modeling out with TVL, and there's a lot more noise in that model. And so this is like the model that I found was the best to explain market cap. And you'll see that for MYX Finance, considering the amount of open interest they have, which is like barely nothing, they have like a massive market cap. So that to me just shows visually that it's ridiculously overvalued. And so I'm just going to hold shorts on my mix position until it like goes down to below $10 million. Right now it's like $600 million.
Is it possible though for them to fake the market cap or to inflate it?
If you control most of the supply, then obviously it is possible to control it. But over the long run, their goal is to make a profit out of these fake manipulated prices, right? So it's like they have a very high incentive to basically sell off their overpriced tokens into the market to anybody that's tricked into thinking that they're a good exchange, right? And so if they continue doing that, like over the many months and years, like it's only natural for them to come down. Is my thesis. Obviously, like I could be wrong, and like they could like there are projects that hold up their like market caps for years and years and years, but it's just one of those things that I think are probabilistically like much more likely to go down than up.
That's a good point. So Hyperliquid is a bit off the chart as well at the time. I don't know if this one, when did you updated it? Yeah, because they are more at 7 billion probably now, 7 or 8 billion market cap.
So this is on a log scale. So
Yeah.
it is probably like maybe 8 or 9 on this chart. The chart gets updated every day, so it's pretty
Okay.
up. But
Okay.
let me get rid of MYX, because like what MYX does is it distorts the chart. It like pulls up the line on the left side, and that's why it looks like Hyperliquid is like far off what the model says is like a good price. But if I get rid of MYX, you'll see that the correlation is like much better. If you go back into the site, you'll see an updated version. So I got rid of MYX, and you'll see like the correlation is much stronger.
They're all on the same line, right?
Yeah, it just means that OI is a very good explainer for perp dexes.
Okay. It's just it validates
The model. Yeah, it validates the model.
model.
Yeah. And you'll see like on the bottom, there's something called R squared. This is like a statistical like way to explain like how much, for our case, market cap is explained by open interest. And it says 0.913, which means 91.3% of the market cap is explained by open interest. That tells you that this is a very good model. Another kind of interesting thing you could do with this model is you could look at exchanges that don't have tokens yet. So all the red ones, like Lighter, Dex, Ostium, like all these tokens, they have OI data, but they don't have market caps yet. And so you could kind of predict for this amount, they're doing this amount of OI. So how much would they be worth if they launch a token like today? And then you can kind of guess how much they'd be worth.
That's a good point. And if I may chill the sponsors, it's like everyone farmed the lighter, but you don't hear many people who farm Ajax yet, except if they're in Korea, of course. There's also an interesting thing happening always with, I think, with how people see things, because like, for example, Hyperliquids get as is the winner takes all every time in crypto. and like takes all the attention, like when it was that. Then it was like Aster and Lighter. They've been like the two ones that like everyone in crypto Twitter kind of heard about. Like they actually on it. It's interesting that you're shorting Aster actually when it seems to be quite fairly valued around according to your model. But if we check, like for example, Edgex, they have only like 40K followers on X. So it's like I feel like there's it's interesting when you start to combine the usage data with the social data to understand if you are early or like you arrive at the end of something.
Yeah, I'm a fan of what edgex has been doing. They're earning actually more fees than Lighter, which is interesting, and they have like a great app, which I think helped onboard a lot of their users.
Oh yeah, the mobile app is crazy. It's I mean, obviously I tried the product, I love the product. I say like we gotta do some stuff together, but it's to have the sub accounts to be able to use on your phone is the first perp text that you can properly use on your phone, I think. As a native mobile app, don't get me wrong, like you can use Hyperliquid with the other. Yeah. But so let's get back to like the Asa case. I think like that was like one of the most a vocal one on the timeline. Like people loved it, people hated it. So when you see that it's on the line, then what would make you think that it's a good short?
Yeah, that's a good catch. Like on your side, like according to my model, it's actually very fairly priced, and so it's not like it looks like there's not a lot of froth in it. My case for shorting Aster is actually slightly different. It's more based around just like the tokenomic structure of it, and just like I guess like I think my feeling for it is that most of the users on Aster are either insiders or very opportunistic farmers, right? They have like they're like miners almost on
Mm.
Aster, where they will just like go long short, long short, long short, and like burn through like whether it's 10K or 100K worth of fees in order to get. They're basically buying Aster tokens by trading and inflating volume, creating open interest to buy Aster, because the price of Aster is higher than the amount of the fees they're paying on the exchange while trading. And so that's like the calculation they're running when they're trading on Aster. And that's actually the same case for a lot of pre-TG token like perp dexes. A lot of the volume is very kind of, it's transactional and like opportunistic. I think Aster is probably like the worst case for that. It's just
Mm.
a feeling. So like I don't really have that much
Okay.
data to support that. But
Yeah,
um
so you kind of like you take the data points, but you also try to take what is the real life, and then like, how many people you see like actually using it and how they use it.
yeah, and the tokenomics as well. They structured the tokenomics so that it's like pretty easy to calculate like how much you spend for the amount of Aster tokens you get. And so the dangerous thing about that is at one point, if like the price of Aster drops down below like the farming price or the cost of production, then everybody just sells and there's no organic users left. And that creates like a death spiral, because that means there's less volume, there's less fees to buy back the tokens that supported the price. And that like turns out to be like a vicious cycle. And so what Hyperliquid I think did really well is that their points program was, it didn't attract like these opportunistic farmers. Like a lot of the times the algorithm was like pretty hard to decipher. And so people just like traded on it because they liked it, right? And that's like what every single perp dex I think needs to strive for. The moment you step across the line where you know you need to beef up metrics, you need to like beef up revenue, and you start paying people to do that, you're only going to get bad apples. And
Yeah,
so yeah, that's the thing that makes me kind of bearish on Aster.
that makes sense. Yeah, that's an interesting point. What do you think about like prediction market? Because we're talking about you close your long on the Hyperliquid, and now I see that on Poly Market the second most traded category is crypto. And you see, like for example, today there was a 140K volume on X on betting on the price of Hyperliquid before 2026.
Yeah, I think like betting markets are such a breakout story. I think you have a good nose on this as well. Like prediction markets, I think they've already done like a really big round. Poly market raised at $9 billion, which is already like huge. But I think it continues to do really well. And I was bullish on crypto options a bit too early. And I was just like waiting for the day that crypto options will pick off. But prediction markets are actually like another form factor of options. It's like a binary option where the outcome is yes or no. And
Yeah.
it's basically doing the same thing as what you do on Deribit for like a particular like expiry. So these have like expiry dates. Like say this one
Yeah.
has expiry date at 2026, end of year. And you have strike prices. Strike prices for options is like, do I think Bitcoin is going to be over 100K by a certain date? They're doing the exact same thing, right? In like a slightly different form. But this is just so much more approachable for like the masses, right? And so, yeah, I mean, I'm super bullish prediction markets. I think this is like going to continue doing well.
I agree with you. I think like it's just option is such a complex product for retail. And then here, I guess it feels it's easy. And then it's always like, okay, if I can shop everything in the same place, then why not? Like it's just easier for me, right? So it's like if I can bet on like the baseball and then I can also talk about the price, then it's kind of easy. Because even perpetuals is actually quite complicated for a lot of people. And I
Yeah.
mean, like I mean, we say, okay, we have the leverage, but then there is so many things that happen in it that like on 1010, we all learn something new that we didn't think will really happen, right?
Yeah.
Even for people who are quite advanced with it. So it's like, oh, so when this happened, then the margin changed. And then, yeah, I guess it's easy, but it's interesting to see like how like the odds are like the $100, we're not going to have it, $70. They're thinking about $20 is the one with the highest yes so far, 14.9. And then there is no. So you think we can touch $20?
I don't know. But I mean, the pricing on this is just like infinitely more easy to understand than option markets pricing. And that's what I
Yeah.
think the genius is. Like, it's like one of those things where like the UX saved the product. Like back when like maybe Instagram first came along or like Pinterest came along, like Pinterest like did well because of like nice UX. And like Robinhood, right? Robinhood did well due to nice UX. Like I think predictions markets are going to make options like underneath its options, like because it has to do with like probabilities and like expiries and strike prices. But I think like prediction markets are basically the right UX for mass adoption towards for these kinds of markets.
Have you traded meme coin? I was talking with a co-founder of Ajax yesterday, and he was saying that actually, like meme coins, in a way, brought a lot of people to on-chain directly and bypass the centralized exchange.
Oh yeah, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, like back in DeFi summer days, the people that were considered to have alpha were like the people that were native to on-chain stuff. South Koreans in particular were really slow to that trend. So there were like no on-chain kind of traders back in like 2020, 2021. But like masses of them kind of got onboarded with the meme coin craze. Like people finally like set up phantom wallets and like learned about MetaMask in 2023 and 2024 when we had that like crazy meme coin like
Yeah.
rush. And so I absolutely agree that meme coins did onboard a bunch of people to like the on-chain world. And that was like a crucial ingredient for the kind of proliferation of perp dexes as well, right? You needed to have these people that were comfortable using, Web3 wallets to use perp dexes as well, because they all need Web3 wallets as well. And so it was like a nice kind of succession of kind of adoption in that sense.
But did you answer the question though?
No, I did not. I've dabbled in meme coins, but nothing too like serious.
Okay. Yeah, it was. You were just busy farming perps.
Yeah. I was more like a directional trader, or maybe like doing a bit of like AI stuff, and yeah.
Okay. Fartcoin was AI, isn't it?
Yeah. I have some close friends that did very well on that. He was, I think, like the #1 holder of our coin.
Someone in the chat was asking, like, please talk about the crypto market on Poly Market. We just did, but it's just like there's few different things you can have, like, of course, the price. There we go, lighter. We were talking about it. Lighter market cap FDV. I wonder if they have one on EdgeX. Yeah, they have. And then the thing is, we know now that Poly Market is quite often, right? So it's that people are gonna predict now, like try to predict like what would be the market cap when it's launched. It seems going to be between 1 and 2 billion. Now let's go back to your
Our
chart.
model?
If
Yeah.
yeah,
It actually
may.
says EdgeX would be around 700 million.
700 million.
Yeah, so it might be better to to go
I might buy
no.
some no here.
But this is FDV, right? So my model is based on circulating market cap. And so for FDV,
Oh my
actually,
god. Why you make it complicated like that? Like
yeah, well, that's yeah, that's something to
yeah,
consider.
because circulating market cap, they're gonna have only 25% out.
Well, then you definitely get above $1 billion. So it does look like these prediction markets are pretty accurate.
I mean, yeah, but they don't say above 2 billion. They don't think so.
So like if they're gonna do 25%, the FDV should be around like 2.9 bill.
Yeah.
So like between 2 and 3 billion is like, I think, a good FDV price according to the model.
There might be
So
a
maybe,
play
like,
here for us.
yeah, so like above 1 billion, that's like, I think, free money almost.
Oh my
And
god, giving financial advice.
speaking my mind, this is not financial advice. This is what what I'm thinking. And then maybe like above, is there 10 billion?
Yeah, above 10, yeah.
This is also free
Well,
money,
but
right?
yeah, free money at 98 cents though. That's
Yeah,
like
free
free
money is
pennies.
yeah, free pennies, exactly. I'd say like
Yeah, I
5
mean,
billion also is like a pretty decent one.
yeah, but would you do it? Like the reward is not like that crazy, right? Like you pay 100K, you're gonna make 9K.
Yeah, so I would approach poly markets right now. Like I think the most like plus EV way to approach poly markets is to just like target these easy ones and just like rack up volume because eventually they're going to drop a token, right? And
Yeah.
so yeah, just like I'd farm poly market, and I think that would be a pretty good one.
Yeah, I think it'll be late to farm Poly Market, but yeah, I think it's good for people to start to just get a touch of it and then feel of it because, like, I mean, I didn't expect it that we're gonna just talk about that, but like we see your model, like most of the thing on the model, we could not take action except choosing somewhere to farm for the tokens that are not launched. And then we have a new market where we can actually do something about it. And then if we have some ideas that what would be the valuation, then we can put our money there. I think that's beautiful in a
Yeah.
way. To close the loop on that, we're gonna see the lighter one, 1 billion, 2 billion. So according to your model, should be oh, you must know it by heart almost, no?
1.3, 1.2,
1.3.
but that's like circulating market cap.
Yeah, that's FDV, so that's gonna be how much they're gonna airdrop.
Around 25 to 30%. So like you can multiply by 4. So like FDV, if it's 25%, is like 5.2 bill.
Okay. And then when is the token launch?
It's targeted for with this market is that it has to launch within this year. That's why the odds are a bit weird. If Lighter doesn't launch within this year, I think all of them end up to be no. And that's why like
Yeah.
odds are really low.
Yeah. Yeah, the resolution is on December 31st.
Yeah. So if TG gets delayed, then all these like end up in no. So like it might be like one way to like hedge your Lighter point.
But as an intern at Lighter, you must know when is TGE.
No, nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Oh my god. When are we going to get some alpha today, man?
As an intern, they don't tell me much.
Don't tell you much. It's amazing. And now that like let's say like 6 months from now, perp deck is finished. We have like 10 perp decks competing for the market. They all have their token. What are you gonna do?
I think I put up this like poll like yesterday about what the next big narrative is And the four things were, it was AI, like X402 and like AI agents, like that side of things. There was equity perps, there was privacy, and there was one more. Let me just look at my poll and see how it went. Oh, and there were like stable coins and neobanking. And people were saying were basically, I think, the most bullish on equities and RWA perps. And seeing as there's only like 3 kind of exchanges where you do that at the moment. You do that on Hyperliquid, Lighter,
Yep.
and Ostium. I think those markets still have a lot of room to grow. And if it actually like gets adoption, then I can actually see equity perps like get even bigger than all of crypto trading volume like today. And so I feel like it's a huge market. And so that's why, I'm focusing on perp Dexes still.
Got it. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they have that you can trade like the different stocks and everything. I mean, it's amazing now. Like you go on the Phantom wallet, you can long Nvidia stock. Who is gonna trade stocks if we enter in the bear market of stock market as well?
Well, then you could trade gold, or you could trade maybe emerging markets, or
Yeah.
I
It's
actually,
interesting that no one talked about prediction market in that narrative thing. Like I mean, you didn't put it as an option, or maybe it's too
that was a
late. You think?
mistake. That was a mistake from my side. Like there were only 4 options that you could put in it. I should have replaced privacy with prediction markets. I feel like prediction markets is also something that can continue doing well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting time. Um, Stablecoin and neobanking, I don't see it directly, honestly. I
Mhm.
was like, they're gonna push stable coins like government and everything, right? It's just a thing that are gonna happen. I think we're gonna see more happening directly with the PubDex platforms. They're gonna bring on some more DeFi and neobanking things. Like I believe there's gonna be more around that. Like already just the votes that you have on those perp decks is just amazing. The returns you can get are like pretty good. The risk is fairly okay. It's like quite nice. And it's just a lot of upside around it.
Yeah.
They have one where you can go into like a private equity, like you can buy Claude, buy Neuralink, and things like that.
Yeah, I'm actually long OpenAI on Hyperliquid. I'm like maybe 7 to 8% of the open interest for OpenAI on Hyperliquid. So I have a pretty big position there.
And what happened? Like they need to go public then, or
Well, it's just like a pre-market. We have like pre-markets for like crypto tokens. Like they basically applied a similar mechanism to like pre-IPO stocks. You can buy stuff like SpaceX and Anthropic and OpenAI. And like I think a good kind of like strategy might be to buy now and then sell at IPO.
what's the name of the protocol that does that again?
It's called Ventuals.
I will check later. I tried it, but I haven't.
Farming on Hyperliquid is hard because you need a lot of hype. And so like it's like a money game if you want to farm hype, I feel. Like I'm just using Hyperliquid because, it offers products that other places just don't have, which is like what people should aim to do, right? And
Yeah,
so
exactly.
yeah, I'm a happy user of Hyperliquid and for longing things like OpenAI on it.
Oh man, the movements, yeah, it's crazy on it.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
You have another one we should look at, like I guess Anthropic is gonna be Anthropic, yeah.
Yeah.
They follow a similar pattern.
Yeah, they're actually based like 50% on like private markets, and 50% of it is based on like moving averages of themselves. And so that's why you see like pretty strange like price patterns.
Any other things you think like on PubDex that people should look at?
Well, I mean, like there's gonna be a lot of stuff like coming out towards the TGE for these like pre-TGE perp dexes, like for both EdgeX and Paradex and Lighter. I would stay like close to the announcement channels for all these perp dexes towards the end of the year,
Okay.
because there's going to be like spot markets. There's going to be like, there might be meme coins, and then I heard EdgeX is doing like prediction markets in their app as well. I feel like these projects are likely gonna reward like these new product verticals in tokens. So like you might have missed like the perp dex early farming stage, like on the perp side, but there's still like spot and there's like meme coins and prediction markets.
Yeah.
Like, and so I still think there's like quite a lot of opportunity left in those sectors.
That's true. All right. Any advice you would give to wrap it up to someone who just starting into this field of crypto?
I would just parrot what I've been saying like throughout the video. I think there's still like opportunity. You just need to look in the right places. Sometimes like it's like the small boost in earning something like points that gets you on your groove to become like, you know, a profitable trader. I would try to look for those opportunities and put in the work to
Put in the
see
work, yeah. And
you're gonna
also, I think like usually when you farm those airdrop and everything, like if you use someone's ref link, for example, in my description, you get a boost. You get a boost in points. Like
yeah,
on
look
Edgex, yeah, on Edgex now you
for
can
the
farm
codes.
Maru. Maru. They have their meme coin that is the first one that you can farm before the token. But it's true, it is important. Like people don't realize that getting other people in like helps you a lot for farming the airdrops.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was a pleasure, man. Thank you, Hansolar, for coming here for sharing all this knowledge. We're gonna see if your model is right or not. If it's wrong, well, I guess it's just gonna be my lawyer talking to your lawyer. Have a great one. Thank you for
All
coming
right.
by.
Thanks for having me.
By the way, guys, I'm gonna make you guys win $1,000 tomorrow. You just have to get into Edgex with the code, and if you trade at least 10K with it, which is pretty easy with the leverage, you qualify. So it's like, they give me money to sponsor, I give you back money. That's about it. It's a great product. You should try the app. There's not many people farming it yet. I started to farm it. I was like, okay, I need to do something with those guys because, like, hey, I'm a good farmer. So what I'm gonna do is gonna be pretty easy. Actually, is I'm gonna take all the people that like got referred here. Okay, I have a tool, and then we're gonna pick them, and the one who win will get $1,000. But if you have zero on trading volume, you don't qualify. So most people, they create an account, but they don't do anything with it. I don't understand. Handsome showing all the best tricks for treasure. I just like to share. And then you have a boost if you use the code handsome. You have a boost in points.